How Health Choices Reduce Your Expenses by AfroBudgetinGirl. This content is for informational purposes only and reflects my personal experience. It's not financial advice. What if the reason you're struggling to save isn't a lack of discipline, but the way your life is structured? What if the answer isn't another budgeting method, but taking a closer look at how you're taking care of yourself? In 2015, I was diagnosed with an ulcer. Medication worked the first time. In 2016, it came back. That's when I stopped ignoring my body. Not to save money, not to optimize my budget, just to stop being sick all the time. What I didn't realize then is that looking after myself would quietly reduce my expenses, not all at once, not dramatically, but consistently and sustainably. When health becomes an investment. After the ulcer returned, I had enough. I had been sick for most of my life, often without knowing why, often without understanding how. Have you ever reached a point where your body forces you to listen, even when your mind wants to keep pushing? Around that time, I watched Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. To be clear, many health claims around juice cleansing are not supported by scientific evidence. For me, the documentary wasn't a solution. It was a shift in awareness. It made me ask questions I had never really asked. What am I consuming every day? Why do I normalize discomfort? Why do I accept ingredient lists I don't understand? Awareness changes behavior, and behavior changes spending. The Slow Juicer. A strategic, long-term investment. I invested in a slow juicer. It was not cheap. It cost a few €100 up front, the kind of purchase many people hesitate over. But 6 years later, it's still standing strong after daily use. Do I juice today the same way I did back then? No. But that investment paid for itself in ways that don't show up on a receipt. Ask yourself, how often do you spend because you feel tired, low, or overwhelmed? When your body feels supported and your energy is more stable, you're less reactive, less emotionally exposed, less vulnerable to impulse and emotional spending. Those small comfort purchases, few euros here and there, don't feel expensive, but over months and years, they quietly add up. A calmer mind is a quieter spender. When awareness starts changing how you spend. As my health improved, I didn't just feel better, I consumed differently. I started reading ingredient lists, and once you see, you can't unsee. Some products, I stopped buying them altogether. How many things do you buy out of habit, not because they truly serve you? This wasn't about restriction, it was about alignment. As my awareness grew, I also noticed something else: how much food I was buying, just in case. Canned goods, frozen meals, extra items meant to make me feel prepared, not necessarily nourished. But food sitting in a cupboard or freezer isn't neutral. It's money that's stuck. And often, it's money spent to reduce anxiety, not to meet a real need. When I changed how I ate and felt more stable in my body, I stopped overbuying backup food. Not because I was stricter, but because I felt safer. That shift alone reduced waste, freed up cash flow, and made my spending more intentional. Lipstick, cosmetics, and cutting the middleman. I love lipsticks. At one point, I had around 15. And one day, I realized this wasn't enjoyment anymore, it was accumulation. So I made a simple rule. When one finishes, I don't automatically replace it. No guilt, no pressure, just intention. That alone reduced how often I spent on cosmetics. But something else changed too. I started buying less often but more consciously from small brands, local or independent businesses, makers with clearer sourcing. By doing that, I wasn't just buying fewer products, I was cutting the middleman. Fewer supply chain steps often mean less price inflation. better margins for the small business owner, money going closer to the source. Instead of paying for layers of distribution, marketing, and logistics, I was paying for value. That's still spending, strategic spending. Period products, reusable diapers, and long-term math. One of the biggest shifts came from period care. Disposable pads are usually bought monthly, automatically. Individually, they already feel expensive, but over years, that can easily become hundreds, sometimes thousands. When I learned more about the chemicals used, similar to those found in diapers, I paused. I switched to reusable pads and period underwear. The upfront cost was higher than one monthly purchase, but spread over several years, the difference was significant. I made the same decision for my children and used reusable diapers. Diapers are a daily expense, so the savings there became visible very quickly. Once again, buying from smaller brands meant fewer intermediaries, more transparency, better financial support for the business owner. It was a financial decision and a values decision. Fewer clothes, more focus, not minimalism. I didn't aim for minimalism. I aimed for focus. My body fluctuated through 2 pregnancies. Instead of constantly buying new clothes to keep up with changes, I chose comfort, versatile pieces, simplicity. Buying fewer clothes and buying them less often reduced both spending and mental load. Ask yourself, are you buying to adapt to your life or to cope with it? This is part of your financial ecosystem. Your health, mindset, and spending habits are deeply connected. When saving isn't the goal but the outcome. I didn't save money by cutting joy. I saved money by spending strategically. Health became an investment. Awareness became a filter. Spending became intentional. That's the heart of the SIS framework. Save as a natural outcome. Invest in what stabilizes you. Spend in ways that reduce future costs. Before asking, how can I save more? Try this instead. What part of my lifestyle is quietly making me spend? Sometimes the answer isn't financial at all. It's embedded in your financial ecosystem. And that's where real budgeting begins. For more reflections and practical insights on money, visit the full article on AfroBudgetinGirl. Share your story in the comments, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It helps more people find us. If this resonated with you, explore my free budgeting tools, including a tracker and 200-question workbook on my website, and subscribe for early access to the Budgeting with Purpose Masterclass. Because budgeting isn't just about money, it's about clarity, resilience, and choosing freedom over fear.